Welcome back to Meghan and Harry Tales, where we cut through the noise, expose the smear campaigns, and stand by Harry and Meghan against the relentless machine of misinformation. I'm your host, Adrian, and today we're diving into Tom Bower's so-called explosive exposé. And trust me, it's nothing more than the same recycled gossip designed to drag Meghan's name through the mud. Let's pause and cut through the noise that surrounds public narratives. I've spent years observing how balance and truth sustain ecosystems, and our media environment is no different. We're here to examine the stories told about Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. My aim is simple: to encourage reflection, clear away the sensationalism, and seek truth. In a world where information and misinformation travel instantly, it's hard to separate fact from fiction. The loudest voices often shout for profit, not for truth. Narratives are constructed and amplified until they feel real, even when built on little substance. This is what we see in the relentless campaign against Meghan and Harry, fueled by books like Tom Bower's. Our goal isn't to add to the noise, but to peel back layers of sensationalism. We'll examine the claims calmly, looking for evidence or the lack of it. Who benefits from these stories? Is it the public or those who profit from division? Defending fairness for two defends truth for all. Let's approach this as an exploration, not a battle. We'll hold each claim up to the light, seeking decency and intellectual honesty. By understanding these mechanisms, we become more discerning and protect ourselves from narratives built on sand. The media landscape is a jungle where the boldest headlines win. Words like scandal and exposé aren't meant to inform, they're meant to sell. Headlines about Tom Bower's book are crafted to create an impression of guilt before you read a word. This tactic frames speculation as fact, planting bias in the reader's mind. Once doubt is seeded, every new detail is filtered through suspicion. The public craves stories of downfall, and the media knows conflict sells better than kindness. So they create villains, because a simple good versus evil story is easier to market than reality. We've become so used to dramatic headlines that we rarely question their truth. We feel outrage, move on, and the damage is done. A reputation tarnished, a false narrative strengthened. We must recognize this pattern. Headlines are not facts, they're advertisements for a point of view. Let's learn to see through the spectacle. Only then can we resist being manipulated by sensationalism. One of the most damaging tactics against Meghan is linking her to figures like Prince Andrew and Jeffrey Epstein. This is guilt by association, insinuation without evidence. When we look for proof, there's nothing. No photos, no documents, no credible witnesses. The logic is flawed. Being in the royal orbit doesn't make one complicit in others' actions. Accusers like Tom Bower don't need proof. They just need to plant suspicion. Denials are twisted into further evidence of a cover-up. The damage is done by the question, not the answer. We must demand evidence and not be swayed by vague connections. The burden of proof lies with the accuser. In this case, the supposed links are pure invention. Meghan is criticised for her past and travel choices, painted as a yacht girl to suggest ambition is a flaw. This double standard punishes her for having a social life, while men are praised for networking. The stories lack context or evidence, just stereotypes filling in the blanks. It's lazy journalism designed to shame, not inform. The private jet criticism follows the same pattern. Harry and Meghan are singled out while others are ignored. Security often necessitates private travel, but nuance is lost in the rush for a damning headline. The real agenda is to find any pretext to criticise. Even mundane actions are twisted into moral failings. The scrutiny isn't about jets or yachts. It's about finding a reason to attack. This relentless search for flaws reveals the true motive. Let's see through the selective outrage. Meghan's acting career is constantly used against her. Critics dismiss her emotions and actions as performances, denying her sincerity. This narrative is dehumanizing and illogical. Being an actor doesn't mean living life as a role. No one claims lawyers are always arguing or doctors always diagnosing. This criticism is reserved just for her. The "it's all an act" theory is a tool to discredit, allowing critics to ignore the substance of her actions. If she's passionate, she's acting. If she's vulnerable, it's crocodile tears. It's a way to invalidate her voice and contributions. We must reject this narrative and judge her by her actions, not her former career. Her work on mental health and women's empowerment is real and impactful. These are not the actions of someone playing a part. Let's afford her the presumption of sincerity. Stories need villains, and the media knows drama sells. Meghan, as an American, a career woman, and a person of mixed race, didn't fit the royal mold. She became the perfect outsider villain for tabloids. Her independence was framed as a flaw, not a strength. The villain narrative creates a simple conflict: Harry and Meghan versus the crown, modernity versus tradition. These binaries generate outrage and revenue. Meghan is reduced to a symbol for anxieties about change and outsiders. Every action is interpreted through this lens. If she's silent, she's plotting. If she speaks, she's attacking. The narrative is rigged. Evidence to the contrary is ignored. The media's need for a villain shapes the story, not reality. Understanding this mechanism is key. The real Meghan is lost behind the caricature. We must look past the role she's been forced to play. We've seen how narratives are built on speculation and profit, not fact. The campaign against Meghan and Harry isn't really about them. It's about us and the world we want. Do we value gossip over truth or fairness and evidence? We must question stories designed to provoke outrage and look for evidence. Supporting Harry and Meghan means defending their right to fairness, not blind agreement. Let's refuse to participate in the media's cruel game. The truth is quieter than sensationalism, but more resilient. Our task is to make space for it to be heard. By choosing truth over gossip, we defend not just two people, but our shared reality. Let's choose to be part of that story. So don't fall for the smoke and mirrors. This isn't about yachts or jets or deleted interviews. It's about a media industry addicted to smearing Meghan Markle for profit. Harry and Meghan's marriage isn't falling apart. It's their critics who are running out of material. Thanks for watching Meghan and Harry Tales. I'm Adrian, and if you're tired of the lies, stick with us. Because here, Meghan and Harry's truth always comes first. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more.